This is Vivian. She's my little scientist today. So, unlimited treats.
Today's experiment is simple. Step 1, ride up Mount Hollywood Drive with my dog on my back. Step 2, compare the climb time to a previous ride without my dog. Hypothesis, riding with an extra 15 pounds on my back will be slower. The question is, how much slower? Is it enough for me to care? And will Vivian survive the ride? You ready? I've done a challenge with Vivian on my back before, but that was inside. This is outside, in the scariest place of all, the real world. The goal is to average 204 watts so we can match the effort of the previous ride as precisely as possible. Watts are measured by the amount of pressure I put on my power meter pedals. You can keep an eye on the average watts here. The other sections are just to help me pace my effort. This climb can be divided into 3 parts. A moderate climb of about 6%, a flat section, and a final climb with an average of 4%, increasing to an average of 9% in the last quarter mile.
And now, a message from Vivian.
Vivian wants me to tell you she is not 15 pounds, she's just over 12 pounds. The extra 3 pounds of weight are coming from extra camera equipment, dog treats, and the canine sports sack that she's being carried in. Okay, I told them, are you happy now? In an earlier video, I compared a heavy budget bike to my road bike. The differences in time and effort were substantial. But as many of you pointed out in the comments, there were a lot of unisolated variables in that experiment. 2 different sets of tires, different group sets, the list goes on and on. So for this experiment, I wanted to focus just on weight. Weight is the biggest difference between an entry-level road bike and a world-class road bike. This entry-level Canyon Endure Race weighs almost 21 pounds. Canyon's top-of-the-range climbing bike, the Ultimate CFR, weighs just 14.42 pounds. The price difference is $8,800 US. In this example, you have to spend almost $9,000 to save 15 pounds. It's a lot of money. Is it worth the cost? You can do a lot of things with $9,000. For example, Vivian would probably buy 600 pounds of Greenie's dog treats. Coming into the final section of the climb, remember this is an average gradient of 9%, and I'm really starting to feel the extra weight. On the flat, it's really more about aerodynamics. That's why aero bikes are usually heavier than climbing bikes. You don't need the weight advantage on the flat. What you need is to slip through the air with as much efficiency as possible. But once you start going up, aerodynamics become less important, weight becomes more important.
Almost there.
The steeper the climb, the lighter you want to be, which is precisely why climbers in the Tour de France are so tiny. A light bike plus a light rider equals a fast climb time.
How you guys doing?
Hi, how are you? Oh, you're yeah.
All right, I know you want to see the difference in time, but first, I want to show you something that surprised me.
Gotta get Vivian in the shot too. You're part of this. That took way more effort with her on my back. I think because I was basically doing like a mini plank the whole time.
Despite having fairly similar power graphs between the 2 rides, by the way, this is the control and this is the ride with Vivian. Okay, despite the similarities in power output, my heart rate was much higher with Vivian. I had thought that because the power output was the same, the perceived effort would be the same as well. However, it turns out that adding an extra 15 pounds requires you to do more work. Who would have thought? Probably anybody with common sense. But we're not talking about perceived effort. We're talking about time. We're talking about speed. The control, the climb without Vivian or the camera equipment had an average speed of 9.4 miles an hour and a total time of 21 minutes 51 seconds. The climb with the extra 15 pounds had an average speed of 8.8 miles an hour and a time of 23 minutes 10 seconds. That's a difference of 1 minute 19 seconds, a 6% increase in time. On a 2.5-hour weekend ride, that's an additional 9 minutes. Is it worth $9,000 to save 9 minutes? Seriously, I want to know. Let me know in the comments. The one thing I do know for sure after this ride, riding with your best friend, priceless.
You want a treat?